Welcome to Trivia Clips, where rock legends collide and history gets loud. Today we dive into a battle straight from the heart of Seattle. Nirvana versus Pearl Jam. One burned out in tragedy, the other built a legacy that still echoes today. But who truly spoke for a generation? Let's break it down with 15 explosive facts that'll help you decide. Here comes part 1. And trust us, you'll want to stick around for part 2. Let's get started. 1. Did Nirvana really kill hair metal with just one song? Absolutely. When Smells Like Teen Spirit dropped in 1991, the music world changed overnight. Gone were the flashy solos and glam. It was all about raw sound and honest emotion. Radio stations replaced glam rock with grunge in just weeks. MTV went full Seattle mode. Nirvana didn't ask for the spotlight. They ripped it from everyone else. That song wasn't a hit. It was a revolution, and Cobain became the reluctant voice of a generation. 2. Was Pearl Jam really the anti-Nirvana of grunge? In a way, yes. While Nirvana was chaotic and unpredictable, Pearl Jam was steady and grounded. Eddie Vedder brought depth and introspection instead of self-destruction. They refused to play the fame game, often fighting with labels and avoiding music videos. Pearl Jam stood for integrity, activism, and connection. They weren't trying to be cool, they were being real. And fans respected that. Their rebellion came through resistance, not rage. 3. Was Cobain's songwriting really that influential? Totally. Cobain had a gift for turning pain into poetry, blending simplicity with brutal honesty. Songs like Lithium and Something in the Way felt like diary pages screamed into a mic. His lyrics weren't polished. They were raw and imperfect, just like the world he saw. He made sadness sound loud and silence sound powerful. Even today, his words hit like emotional bombs. Cobain didn't just write songs, he wrote truths, and people listened. 4. How did Pearl Jam fight back against the system? One word: Ticketmaster. Pearl Jam openly boycotted the ticket giant in the 90s. They claimed fans were being overcharged and fought to create an alternative tour system. It almost destroyed their career, but they didn't care. They believed music should be for the people, not corporations. It was a bold, risky move that made headlines. Pearl Jam didn't just sing about rebellion, they lived it, and that built deep fan loyalty. 5. Was Kurt Cobain's death really the end of Nirvana? Yes, Nirvana ended the moment Kurt pulled the trigger in 1994. There was no replacing him, no moving forward as a band. His death symbolized the loss of innocence in 90s rock. It shook fans to the core and changed music history. It turned Nirvana from a band into a legacy. Cobain didn't want to be a star, but became an eternal icon. His silence still echoes louder than most albums. 6. Is Pearl Jam the longest-lasting grunge band? Yes. While most of their peers faded or broke apart, Pearl Jam kept going. They've released over 11 studio albums and toured for decades. Their sound evolved without losing authenticity. They proved you can survive success without selling your soul. They outlived the grunge explosion and became a rock institution. Pearl Jam aged like fine wine, gritty, deep, and bold. Longevity became their greatest protest. 7. Did Nirvana hate being famous? More than anything. Cobain felt trapped by the fame he never wanted. He hated the media's obsession with him and hated being labeled a spokesman. He believed fame corrupted music and poisoned creativity. He lashed out in interviews, and even their MTV Unplugged was anti-celebrity in tone. Nirvana's rise was explosive, but also painful. They were too real for the system they entered, and that made their fame feel like a curse. 8. Did Pearl Jam redefine what a band could be? Yes. They refused to play by industry rules and let their music do the talking. They avoided overexposure and focused on their fans, not their image. Eddie Vedder even stopped giving interviews for years. They built a community, not a brand. Pearl Jam concerts became gatherings, not just shows. Their loyalty to their art and people was unmatched. They didn't rise to fame. They stood still and let fame come to them. That's just the beginning of this epic showdown. We've seen rebellion, tragedy, and revolution, but the best is yet to come. Click now for part 2, where we uncover more facts that could change your final decision. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Trivia Clips, because the battle's far from over. Hey, welcome back to Trivia Clips. This is part 2 of our face-off between Nirvana and Pearl Jam. If you missed part 1, go check it out first. You don't want to miss the full story. Now let's keep the battle going with more mind-blowing facts. Because the 90s weren't just about grunge, they were about these two giants. Let's continue. Here's where it gets real. 9. Was Nirvana really that musically simple? Technically, yes. Most songs were built with basic chords and minimal production. But that simplicity was intentional, and it made the emotion hit harder. Kurt believed music should be felt, not perfected. What mattered was the feeling behind every chord. He turned rawness into a superpower. It wasn't about notes. It was about need. And that made Nirvana unforgettable. 10. Did Pearl Jam grow musically over time? Absolutely. From the rawness of 10 to the maturity of Gigaton, they kept evolving. They experimented with acoustic sounds, punk energy, and even political rock. They never got stuck in one box. Eddie's voice matured, lyrics deepened, and the band refined their identity. Pearl Jam is a band that grows with you. Their fans age, but never outgrow them, and that's rare in rock. 11. Did Nirvana's MTV Unplugged change music TV? Yes, it became one of the most iconic acoustic performances ever aired. Cobain performed haunting covers and raw renditions that stunned the world. It was stripped down, emotional, and full of tension. There were no flashy lights, just vulnerability. It made people cry, think, and listen. That night, Nirvana didn't explode. They whispered, and it was louder than ever. 12. Why do Pearl Jam fans treat concerts like sacred events? Because no two shows are the same. Pearl Jam changes set lists every night. They play deep cuts, rare tracks, and long jams. Some fans have seen them live dozens, even hundreds of times. It's about connection, not repetition. Their concerts are experiences, not routines. Each show feels like a one-night-only celebration, and that kind of loyalty is earned, not bought. 13. Did Kurt Cobain want Nirvana to sound more like the Beatles? Strangely, yes. Kurt was obsessed with melody and pop structure. He admired John Lennon deeply and wanted to write beautiful songs with dark lyrics. Tracks like About a Girl and Penny Royal Tea show his softer side. He once said he wished Nirvana could be more clean-sounding. But his demons always pulled him back. There was a pop heart inside the grunge king, a melody wrapped in noise. 14. Is Eddie Vedder still one of the best live vocalists today? Yes, his voice remains powerful, raw, and emotionally gripping after decades. He doesn't just sing, he lives every word. From intimate whispers to primal screams, he controls the entire room. Even critics who disliked grunge respected his vocal presence. He's not flashy, he's real, and that presence never faded. Eddie sings like it's still 1992, but wiser. It's 15. So, who was the real voice of the 90s? Nirvana burned fast and left ashes of impact all over the world. Pearl Jam kept walking through the fire and still shines today. One spoke through pain, the other through purpose. One became a tragic legend, the other became a living legacy. But both gave us songs we still feel in our bones. Now the question is yours to answer. Now you've heard it all. Pain, passion, power, and purpose. So tell us, Nirvana or Pearl Jam? Drop your answer in the comments and let us know which fact hit you the hardest. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Trivia Clips, because more legendary battles are coming. Stay loud, stay curious, and never stop listening. Punk rock, rebellion, and power chords that defined a generation. Green Day and Blink-182 ruled the 90s and 2000s with their own unique style. One leaned into angst and protest, the other into chaos and comedy. But when it comes to who truly left a bigger mark, the battle gets real. Let's settle this clash round by round, with facts, nostalgia, and energy. This is Trivia Clips, and this is part 1 of Green Day versus Blink-182. Round 1, iconic album Dookie exploded in 1994, putting Green Day on the global punk rock map instantly. Songs like Basket Case and When I Come Around became instant classics. Blink-182 fired back in 1999 with Enema of the State, filled with catchy hooks and teen angst. Tracks like All the Small Things and What's My Age Again ruled MTV. Both albums sold millions and shaped the punk sound of their time. But which one had the bigger impact on you? Round 2, signature sound. Green Day blended punk with emotional depth, sarcasm, and eventually political commentary. Their sound matured over time without losing its bite or authenticity. Blink-182 brought pop punk to the masses with humor, speed, and relatable teenage chaos. Their melodies were sticky, their attitude carefree, and their themes universal. Each band built a distinct identity in the punk scene. But whose sound felt more like your soundtrack? Round 3, lyrics that hit home. Green Day tackled loneliness, anxiety, and the frustrations of modern life. Songs like Boulevard of Broken Dreams became anthems of personal struggle. Blink-182 kept things more personal, singing about breakups, boredom, and growing up. Tracks like I Miss You and Adam's Song showed emotional depth beneath the jokes. Both bands had a way of making fans feel understood, but who captured your feelings better with their words? Round 4, style and attitude. Green Day had a darker, grungier style with a punk meets rebel vibe. Billy Joe's eyeliner and leather jackets became part of his rock identity. Blink-182 went for a more casual and goofy image, never afraid to look ridiculous. They turned immaturity into a brand, and fans loved them for it. Each band created a distinct visual culture, but which look felt more like you? Round 5, memorable music videos. Green Day delivered cinematic videos with emotional punch and social messages. Wake Me Up, When September Ends felt like a movie, not just a music video. Blink-182 created chaos and laughter with All the Small Things, parodying pop culture. Their videos were fun, fast-paced, and perfect for early MTV. Both bands knew how to make their songs unforgettable on screen. But which ones are still burned into your memory? Round 6, generational impact. Green Day spoke for the frustrated teens of the 90s and the disillusioned adults of the 2000s. They grew with their audience and reflected the world's chaos back through music. Blink-182 captured the confusion and hilarity of being young and lost. They didn't take life too seriously, and that's exactly what fans needed. Both bands shaped the spirit of their generation. But which one truly defined yours? 6 intense rounds down, and this punk battle is heating up. But we're not done. Part 2 is where things get deeper. We'll talk evolution, legacy, fan love, and more. This is Trivia Clips, and your vote matters now more than ever. Drop your pick in the comments. Green Day or Blink-182? And get ready because part 2 is coming next.